Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and broken news from Russia. So the Russian Federation has done exercise, a strategic nuclear exercise of their nuclear triad. And so as per reported by AZ Geopolitics, they say that the Russians have notified the US of its annual nuclear exercise, which is an exercise of the Russian nuclear triad, and it will be done on the 26th to the 29th, which is currently still ongoing, and the exercise is actually called Thunder 2022, and they will be launching super long range strikes, exercise strikes through multiple platforms. So and then the Ministry of Defense of Russia on their Telegram also has talked about this, and in fact this was overseen by the Vladimir Putin himself, and you can see he's looking very bored. So according to the Russian Defense Ministry, they said that the Supreme Commander-in-Chief oversees the training of the Strategic Deterrence Force, and they say ground, sea, and air strategic deterrence force were training to launch ballistic and cruise missiles. And then of course something this big, the defense minister himself, Sergei Shoigu, also was around for this training and they said that so he's talking to he's reporting to Putin and say that the armed forces were trained to deliver a massive nuclear strike by strategic offensive force. So this one is to in the response to an enemy nuclear strike. So Russia's nuclear policy is that they will never be the one that will launch the first nuclear strike, so it will always be in retaliation. At least that's their doctrine. So so there is this ICBM, which I can actually show you. It's very interesting. So notice this guy. He's a 1-star general. So very seldom do I see 1-star generals at the console. And then he pressed the button. And there goes the ICBM. And there's an extended shot of the ICBM launching. So another view, which is quite cool. The whole cap just drop off, and so in essence, the cap drop off. I don't think they can actually I don't think they can abort the missile strike anymore. And as evidenced by the the Ukrainian use of HIMARS in the Ukraine war, it does shows that this kind of vehicles can be really hard to track and defeat. And they also, of course, do the exercise with the submarines. And then there's some interviews which let's not go through. So we can take a look at the inside of this submarine. Very interesting, very analog. Everything is very Cold War-ish. And they kissed the microphone, and then they brought the first aid kit down and turned a lot of knobs. So analog. Check it out. That's a lot of people to launch one single missile. So the cap is open. The missile armed and fire. So this is basically the press the button situation. Aren't you surprised that the button is not pressed by Putin himself? So this is another view of the submarine. So you have to submerge first. No, they came up just to take the video shot so that you know that it's a submarine. And yeah, this nuclear missile or ICBM looks quite different, right, from the land launch one. And they also do the Air Force one, the bomber one. And this is another of those Cold War relic. Rumors or reports says that this bomber is extremely noisy because the propellers are spinning at a supersonic speed. So it end up and there's so many propellers, so end up it's like super noisy. But they did not show what the bomber did. It seems like they just flew around. Never saw the launch of missiles. Reportedly it's actually cruise missiles, but they didn't show in this video. So as you can see, all these videos are actually coming from the Ministry of Defense of Russia. It's just something interesting to note. And the Pentagon has responded accordingly, because the Pentagon was notified by the Russians, and the Pentagon officially confirmed. So the United States is notified by the Russia about this exercise. Is part of this arms control obligation, and so this is actually in response to the NATO exercise as well. NATO actually have their own nuclear deterrence exercise, Steadfast Noon, in the area of between United Kingdom and Norway, and it involved up to 60 aircraft of fighters and bombers. So no live weapons was used, but this was actually some kind of like a nuclear deterrence kind of exercise as well, and it just happened to be happening around at the same time. So some other images. So this is the alleged submarine launch trajectory. So the land launch one was reportedly a Samad. And just something interesting to note. So this is also a signal to the West that the Russian nuclear weaponry is still operational, and it's not a joke. However, I personally do not think that the Russians will be launching any nuclear strikes anytime soon, and I don't think they'll be the one that will be using a nuclear weapon first. And anyway, this is just a broken news from Russia of their nuclear deterrence training exercise, and I'll see you in the next update.